Next on Worcester News Tonight, Worcester continues to invest millions of dollars into its parks. Officials say they're crucial to neighborhoods throughout the city. Plus, city and state leaders share the success of the Worcester Regional Airport. They say new flights to Detroit are doing well. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. The opening of a new park in Worcester Thursday isn't just a new spot for kids to play. It's a showcase of the investments the city's been making in its neighborhoods. Millions of dollars have been used to improve public parks throughout the city over the last 5 years, and the city administration is hoping it continues. Our Cam Jandro is in Worcester tonight with those details. Cam?
And for City Manager Ed Augustus, projects like the one behind me are just another example of how the city is spending money not only in the major downtown projects, but also in its neighborhoods. This project here on Plantation Street took almost a decade to put together and is one of many parks the city has been opening recently. Another new park in Worcester is cause for celebration. And also a symbol of how important they are to the city.
So it helps lift up the quality and the vitality of our neighborhoods. So, and it's just the right thing to do. People need open space. People need places to recreate.
In the last 5 years, Worcester has dedicated roughly $60 million to its public parks. They've also received numerous grants through the state for renovations, which is a welcome sight for local parents.
It's a good thing to have the kids coming to the park to exercise, like exercise is good for everybody,
Especially for the younger kids to get out and play. You don't get to see that a lot anymore. Kids are on social media a lot, their heads are down.
The new and improved Holmes Field took more than 9 years to complete and cost more than $1 million.
We wanted to make sure that when we opened it, it was right, it was designed correctly, and it met the specifications that we set forth when we went to build it.
Thursday's event was one of 3 different ribbon cuttings this month, with another scheduled next week. The 3 park projects represent an investment of more than $4 million.
I'm glad to see that the city's reinvesting in all our parks.
It really is about the quality of life. It's about the quality of the neighborhoods, giving people a safe place within their own neighborhood.
Now, the city of Worcester will cut the ribbon on a $2 million project next week. It's on Worcester's Cambridge Street. It's called the South Worcester Playground. In Worcester, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
Celtics legend Bob Cousy is celebrated at the White House today. President Trump awarded Cousy with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. It's the nation's highest civilian honor. The 91-year-old had a Hall of Fame career with the Celtics. He played in 13 All-Star games and helped the C's win their first 6 championships. But his career started at Holy Cross in Worcester, where he was an All-American and began his work helping to close the divide of racial injustice. Both Cousy and President Trump talked about his humble beginnings.
At the College of the Holy Cross, then and now, one of the finest liberal arts schools in the country, where my Jesuit mentors, in answer to the eternal questions, advised, maximize your God-given skills in the areas of your choice, and then reach out in your communities and help in any way you can those who are less fortunate, those who need a boost.
Bob was also a passionate advocate for equality and justice. At Holy Cross, he wrote his senior thesis on the persecution faced by minorities.
Cousy is the second Celtics legend to receive the Medal of Freedom. His former teammate Bill Russell was awarded the medal in 2011. The city and state made major investments in the Worcester Regional Airport. Today, leaders toured the facility to see what more can be done to attract travelers. Our Gretchen LaRosa has the story.
City and state leaders came together Thursday to tour the recent improvements at the Worcester Airport.
There's a lot of great things happening in Worcester, and there's obviously this kind of symbiotic relationship between the Worcester economy and the airport, and I think both are going to continue to grow.
Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito says it's important for travelers to see the investments being made to the airport and the amenities it offers.
easy to park, comfortable to access this terminal. Now flights to Florida, Philadelphia, and Detroit, and then all of the Category 3 runway improvements, fire service that have made this a reliable airport of choice.
Last month, the airport launched flights to Detroit. Airport Director Andy Davis says ridership is at 75%.
In just the 3 weeks they've been flying, we've been very impressed with their operation. They're reliable. The flights are very heavy, and that's a great tribute to the region, Worcester and Worcester County and central Massachusetts, that are supporting this service.
New Massport CEO Lisa Wayland says she wants to build off the airport's recent success.
The cost and convenience of flying out of Worcester is huge. So we think once people are aware of what the opportunities are for travel, they'll take advantage of them.
State leaders are hoping people in and around the Commonwealth will give these new opportunities a chance.
Because of the congestion in and around Boston and sometimes the difficulty to get into Logan Airport, there's an opportunity for an airport like the Worcester Regional Airport to capture some of that market share.
Now, Airport Director Andy Davis says in order for continued growth, the airport needs to continue to promote its accessibility. He says they're ready for the next step, which is having customers take advantage of this facility. In Worcester, Gretchen LaRosa, Worcester News Tonight.
The state's Department of Public Health orders aerial spraying for mosquitoes starting this weekend. Specific areas of southeast Worcester found to be at high or critical risk for eastern equine encephalitis will be targeted. Mass DPH says the aerial spraying will begin the evening of Sunday, August 25th. The latest case of Triple E was diagnosed in a young man in Grafton. For information on communities affected, you can visit mass.gov/DPH. A central Massachusetts marijuana dispensary is donating money to Bartlett High School. Curaleaf donated more than $13,000 to the Webster School. Administrators purchased sensors to detect vaping in bathrooms. When the device detects an air disturbance, it sends a signal to administrators' cell phones so adults can respond.
This is just a piece of it. This is a deterrent piece, but the education piece is something that we're going to be covering through health class, through assemblies with kids. And what we're really looking to do is change the culture.
It took us a while to put them in the schools because we had to drill into the cement walls, and they're in the bathrooms now. They're one way of educating our kids that vaping is not safe for them and not allowed on school property.
The device also picks up noise disturbances, so administrators can tell if a fight is in progress. Bay Path Technical Regional in Charlton installed similar sensors back in February. Police officers and school employees are learning to work together better than before. Dozens of Quabbin Regional school staff, including administrators, counselors, and teachers, teamed up with Barre police officers for crisis intervention training. Our Chandler Walsh was at their training today and has more.
Police officers and school staff learn the proper ways to restrain a student. Barre Police Chief John Carbone says this joint crisis intervention training will connect a gap in their communication with the school.
When we arrived at the interventions, we've wanted to help, but we haven't exactly known what it was they were doing. We didn't know what they needed from us, and they didn't really know how to explain what they needed because we're already in crisis.
Carbone says intervention is most common in students with behavioral disabilities or who are experiencing trauma. He says it can be common for police to respond to schools.
We might have none for several months, and then there might be a student or two students that happen to have issues. Maybe they just moved into the district, and suddenly we're there every other day, every few days.
Quabbin Regional School District staff joined officers in learning Massachusetts laws, de-escalation tactics, and restraints if de-escalation isn't enough.
In learning these holds, we were able to practice them. We were able to feel what it would be like as a staff person administering the hold, but then also from the student's perspective.
Chief Carbone says the training will help officers walk into a classroom and know how best to respond.
We want to be able to defend our actions when our officers to be comfortable and confident in what they're doing.
School counselor Sandra Collins says collaborative training like this is the most successful approach. She says it will make the school safer for all staff and students.
You really want to address the needs of the one student because it will have a ripple effect on the entire school community.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
In just the last 2 days, the fund for the daughter of fallen Worcester firefighter Christopher Roy has received thousands of dollars. Wednesday, local Duncan business owners presented the fire department an $8,000 check for the Ava Roy Fund. Worcester Firefighters Local 1009 says an additional donation from coffee sales will add about another $1,000 to the fund.
Big and small, it's really everyone's keeping Ava in their thoughts, everyone's keeping the memory of Chris Roy alive, and it's truly outstanding, and it's just a testament to the community that Worcester is.
President Michael Papani says people have been generous and they get donations from across the community just about every day. More demolition equipment is moving in around Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church. This is the first day heavier equipment was on site. Crews brought in multiple trucks and began setting up a crane. They're also still in the process of preparing the interior for demolition. On Tuesday, crews removed the stairs in front of the church. According to AAA, drivers in Massachusetts will likely see a drop in gas prices this fall. They're predicting we'll see a potential savings of up to 25 cents a gallon compared to this summer's prices. The reason? Cheaper crude oil, the expected decline in gasoline demand after Labor Day, and the transition to winter blend gasoline. Burncoat Middle School receives a new look. It's part of Powwow Worcester's International Street Art Festival. Powwow artist group Xylene painted an interactive mural drawing dozens of onlookers Thursday night. The group of artists are based out of Cincinnati and have done other murals in their home city and in Miami. Artist Robbie Burgess says this was a different experience because it was more community-driven and had more of a family vibe.
It's really fulfilling, honestly. Not many people have been by just for the mural part. We've been kind of painting it, behind closed doors. Now they get to see the mural and see it come to life, so it's really fulfilling.
Xylene says the mural theme is based on how people perceive time. Earlier today, some were putting the finishing touches on murals in the Great Brook Valley neighborhood. This is the first year Powwow has been in the neighborhood. Organizers say public art should be everywhere in the city. Artist Jason Naylor spray painted a dragon with the word love mixed into it. He says the painting is open for interpretation.
What's special about this neighborhood is that the whole time I've been here, everyone has been part of this process. Like the kids we were talking about, they're so thrilled about it. And the moms are out and everyone's kind of stopping on their way to work in the morning. They're waving and honking and music playing. And that's kind of an energy that is magical and it's helpful.
4 murals were painted in the Great Brook Valley neighborhood. Friday is the last day of Powwow Worcester.